The Dean Blundell Show, 102.1 The Edge.
Devon James is on the phone. Hello, Miss James.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for talking to us again.
No problem.
Can I ask you a question? You've been very good with us. Did you have a kid with Tiger Woods?
Mm-hmm.
You did?
I did. It was something I really didn't want coming out. This has just been somewhat of a really little bit of a nightmare for you all.
So now you are a former adult film star and an escort as well. Mm-hmm. And you said you didn't. Did you say you didn't want to talk about having a kid with Tiger Woods?
Well, I didn't want it coming out the way it did. I never intended on that because of his age. He's 9, and
is it Tiger Woods' son?
Yeah, there's so many things going around. That's a hard thing. They're saying that I don't get along with my mom. That's the big thing. Mm-hmm. She's saying there's been a paternity test. She never lived in the state at the time. There's never been one done.
Right.
So our county just went ahead and they ordered. I went and applied to get a DNA test done, which is the first step, and they have to subpoena him now. So.
Right.
You and Tiger should go on Maury Povich.
Yeah.
For real.
To do
real.
To do that 1-800 Who's Your Daddy?
Exactly. It's like they have that envelope, But I mean, I know. I had only been with my high school boyfriend who that was a year before that, and he's the only person of any color that I ever slept with. And it was back when I was very young, 19, and just out of school, and
So
did he? So you have sex with Tiger, yeah, and you have his kid, and apparently, allegedly, you're getting a DNA test. Did you tell him that you were pregnant, or did you just have the kid and then you told him after?
Yeah, no. See, we freakishly didn't even meet back up until the end of 2006 through an escort girl that I knew. She called me and she's like, "Hey, I have this guy here and he wants another girl." She didn't even know who he was. This girl's not into, how do you not know who that guy, Tiger Woods is? But that is how she is. But so she called me to come join, and when I got there, my face was literally, the words can't even explain our expressions, because we had met up back in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
So,
2000,
yeah. So no, that would be a shock, because he fathered your child apparently, and then 6 years later you're working here as an escort. You get called in for a threesome like a
and there's the baby daddy.
Yeah, there's exactly.
And it's Tiger Woods. He's a baby daddy.
Does your son look like Tiger?
Well, have you seen
Dude, he does. I got a pic right here.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
Oh, my screen. Of course, my computer screen just failed. Here.
It's a very odd combination, so it's not something you can really kind of.
Wow.
Yeah, kid looks like a little tiger, right?
Looks like Tiger Woods. So now he
He's got your ears.
In your mind, in your ears, in your mind, there is no way this is anybody's kid other than Tiger Woods' kid, even though you do what you do for a living. There's no way.
Well, what I do for a living doesn't involve, what I was doing didn't involve any kind of a sexual act until many years later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that happened a lot later. And I didn't start doing adult films until, just the very end of 2009.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So
you were
did when you told Tiger, what did he say? What did he say about
it? It took a couple of times for me to see him to come out, because how do you say something like that? It's it was a really awkward situation. I didn't know. Of course, I didn't say anything the first time. You never know if you're even going to see the guy again. Mm-hmm. What's the point? I'm not one of those people who just. If I were doing it for money, I would have, immediately hired an attorney and came out years
Are you looking
ago.
to get some money now for help for the child?
What I'm doing is basically, since it came out, and especially the way it did, is I'm going to. He deserves to know, who his dad is. He asks a lot of questions, and it started at a lot earlier age than I expected.
Right.
So that's something I've always wondered how to handle.
So you have Tiger Woods' love child. you filed for a paternity test, and he won't do one, or he will do one?
Well, they're gonna court order him to do one, and then the first step is like a mediation, which I believe he's gone through this before in '03, and I always wondered how that worked. And
What do you mean he's gone through this
out.
in '03? Like he has another kid?
Yeah, supposedly somebody went through this with him in '03. I'm not really sure.
You don't know that person?
Yeah. No, I do not know this person. Supposedly it was a girl.
Supposedly
but
it was.
This girl, it was an all. I saw a picture of her. They let me know about it. It was an all-white baby. It's a very rare combination to find. Is he's on his birth certificate they put half black, half Asian, which is a very how many of that? That's not a real common combination.
Do you know what they call them? They call them Blasian Asians.
Yeah.
Blasian Asians.
Yeah.
That guy is Blasian.
Yeah, and I can't. When you have a little kid asking you, questions he just. I don't know how it's going to turn out ultimately in the end. They're going to have us do a mediation, obviously. Would be a DNA test would be first if his lawyers aren't willing to let him do a DNA, which they didn't with this other girl. They'll do a mediation and kind of try to settle it outside. But it would be nice, especially for me, if he could be able to know who's,
Well, supposedly they're supposed to, do it when they. But the truth of the matter here is that you claim to have Tiger Woods' love child, and he hasn't given you an ounce of financial support. Is that what I understand?
Yeah, no, he hasn't. And
other than the money for sex that he paid you a while ago.
And he said $2,000 a woman, right?
Yeah,
he used to say.
Yeah, but you know what? That stopped real quick. That was he called that this is funny. This is real funny. He called that a belated Christmas gift. He never quoted it as any sort of paying for sex. It was just a belated Christmas gift. It was right after Christmas.
It must have been tough for you guys to watch. When I say you guys, I mean all the women he told he loved so much and so dearly. To watch him apologize, did it seem fake and contrived to you?
It did. It seemed so fake that's when I initially was just like I couldn't even stand it. Being in the business, that I was, and I had just recently gotten married. Everyone in my family is very racist, if you want to say. It just wasn't a good thing. I'm more of a quiet type person, even though the job I do alludes to the fact that I'm not very shy, but I actually am.
Yeah, you're loud sometimes.
Yeah.
I had a tough time following
No,
that.
it's like there's introvert extrovert side of you. I know what you're saying. You need your downtime, Devin.
Yeah, you can't just always be working.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
It's not always,
I get it.
Talk about.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a real difficult issue.
Big time.
And my parents and their whole both sides of their family are racist. The guy I married was, he owned a lot of adult entertainment places up in Tampa. He actually, Tiger Woods was one of his best customers.
I guess so.
Yeah, he went. There was several. Celebrities around.
Do you know what I saw? Do you know what I saw the other day, Devin? You know what I saw the other day? Listen to this. This is a true story. You know what I saw? I saw an adult film being advertised on a channel up here in Canada called Brick House Babes. Brick House Babes. And they were all super fat chicks.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? All right. Speaking of that, oddly enough, I never knew that was a fetish. Yet I did.
Big girls, big time.
Yeah, I'm talking about 400, 500
Yeah,
pounds.
Yeah.
Ride the wave, Devin.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I this girl called and begged me for weeks and weeks and weeks to do a film with her. It's actually it was one of the first ones on Free Ones now. It was called My First Fat Chick. I did it being as that her name was Mandy Blake, and she's a very nice girl, but I cannot believe some of the stories she told me. Guys call and pay her to eat.
Yeah, they pay her to eat. They pay her to watch her. She'll do it. She's got a webcam where you can watch. You pay to watch her eat.
We talked about her.
Yes, I'm like the story she was telling me. I was trying not to laugh, but I mean, it was a real quick. I was I agreed for a 15-minute shoot. I mean, she was very, very nice, very friendly.
Wow,
how was it though? How was it? How was it? Was it not? It wasn't good, was it? When you got right into it.
I'm I do like the whole girl. Well, okay, I'll tell you this. When you see the Holly Sampson and the Jocelyn James Vivid movie with me coming out, you're going to see. I can get into girls, but that was just.
Tough.
That was hard. That was hard to do.
Well, you have a tough job.
So with the Tiger Woods thing, now it's going to mediation at some point, or there is a DNA test, and you've applied for that. Do you know when that's going to happen, and when we're going to find out if that's his kid?
They'll be serving him within the next 20 days. And that was about 5-6 days ago. So they'll be serving him in about 2 weeks.
15 days.
And when he gets that, then of course it's going to immediately go to mediation, which is what always he's got an entourage of attorneys.
Yeah, that's got to be exciting for you though. If the kid, let's be honest, if the kid is Tiger's,
if it's Tiger's kid, babe, you got it made in the shade.
Yeah, you won't need to do your first fat chicks anymore.
Yeah, you won't need to do your second one. That's
after the first one I did, and keep in mind I did just because this was a very nice girl. It was just not right.
I know.
Well, explain to us why some more.
Yeah, was it a hot day or what was it?
No, they had a nice set. I mean, they had a nice location that
they had air conditioning, didn't they?
Nothing can really make up for the fact that you're filming with someone. I don't even know what I saw. I think I saw anything. It was so weird. And then
couldn't find it?
Sure. No, I could. I don't know if I found it. I don't know. He liked it. That's what it turned out to be a good movie. They put it on free ones, so I've been all over free ones, but that was one of the ones that was up there. I was like, really?
Can I ask? Have you watched?
Cool people.
Oh well, thank you.
Thanks.
Have you watched Tiger Woods play golf since the whole thing?
Well, you know what? I avoided it for a while. And it's something that you just can't. It's one of those things where you just can't avoid. You know when something happens in your life, and it's one of those things you can't avoid forever. At some point, it's gonna resurface. Have you ever had something like that happen to you, where it's gonna come back to haunt you? Mm-hmm. Well, I had avoided watching.
But my point was, I was just going to quickly ask you. So you watch Tiger Woods. Do you think that he needs to have massive amounts of intercourse with thousands of different women just to be successful at golf? Because I do.
I absolutely do. When I read all the stuff about
Did you ever have sex with him game day? Did you ever have sex with him when during a tournament?
Sure. Yeah. Definitely. And so had Jocelyn. Jocelyn said that, you get a group of girls together that have all been with the same person, and it's amazing what you find out. I'm in more his area, like the Florida, Tampa, Windermere, Orlando area. Mm-hmm. There was, girls, Chicago. Everywhere he went, there was a different girl. And when they all come together, they all, the girls can be catty, so it's amazing what you find out.
Well, what did you find out?
I had sex with him on a tournament day. Well, so did I. Well, so,
yeah, but my thing is, I want to know what tournament you had sex with Tiger Woods during.
Oh, so you can compare performance.
Right.
I see.
God, you know what? That's interesting because I've never actually even thought about that because I know that all of us have had sex with him. All of us are claiming to have sex with him before and after.
Has he ever brought a Masters jacket with him and put it up in the corner? Have you ever seen what he's won?
I've seen it. You mean the green jacket?
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Have you worn it?
I did. I did wear it. I wore that with these really cute matching sexy underwear. It was really hot, but that was his personal.
You wore his Masters jacket
with green underwear?
Yeah, it was really, they were hot green underwear. I still have those, but he did give my son. He gave my son. When we finally got a chance to talk about it, he gave him his first little golf club, which I guess was a big deal because he started playing golf at a young age, and his dad had given this to him. So that was something.
Wow, so you have Tiger Woods' first set of golf clubs?
I do.
Do you know how much that's worth?
It's just one.
Oh, just one
club.
You know that one? Wasn't he on some game show or something?
No, he's on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
Yeah, it's probably that golf club.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, and it's so he gave that to him. We were discussing on how I was going to, because I'm the type of, I wasn't dating and bringing guys home around him. That just wasn't my thing.
Oh, that's nice.
I never ever did that, and you're
a good mom.
You're a very good mom.
It's my mom claims that my mom was a terrible mom. I don't know how. I'm very protective of him.
All right.
How was your mom a terrible mom? What would she do?
I don't really want
too much.
That's too much for me. It's just Let's talk about the Tiger thing. So he gives you. So have you ever touched the U.S. Open trophy while you're having sex?
No, I never touched any of the trophies, but I did see them because oddly he would bring some of them with him on his different tours. See, because I was local and I would see him close to where he lived, and I never, so it was. He always felt it was good luck to touch one of his,
trophies
chicks.
And women. Yeah.
And then it would be sex before, sex after. I also would meet him at. He'd be on the Bucks sideline. I saw the last time I saw him was it wasn't the last time. It was close to it. It was the Bucks versus the Packers. Now I hate the Packers.
Yeah.
And Tiger Woods is a big avid.
That was my next question. Do you like the Packers?
Yeah. No. He was a Bucks fan.
Can I ask you too? Has Tiger Woods ever been with a man?
So many people have asked that, and they're asking me, why are they paying Elin extra for her silence? And I'm going to tell you something very interesting. I was on the Maury Povich show. No, not Maury. God, you guys got me thinking of that from the other.
Yeah, for the DNA testing.
Yeah. No, the Geraldo.
Right.
And, they had it was simulcast from my area, and I was. It was in my area. And
but has Tiger Woods ever had sex with men?
I don't, not that I know of, but he likes to talk and, be very verbal about stuff like that. So I can't sit here and say I've seen him have sex with men, but I have seen and witnessed him talk about fantasies of threesomes with not another girl but another man.
Wow. There's a lot of revelations here, Devin.
Yeah, we know that you wore his master's jacket with just a pair of underpants, and that he fantasizes about sex with threesomes with not women but men.
Normally radio shows can't get this kind of stuff out of me, but when people are cool, then be cool back. No one.
Well, you're great.
Did you have a couple drinks to lube up this morning, or?
No, it's 8:40. What time is it there? It's 8:40.
Yeah. No, you're just so easy to talk to, which is nice.
Open and long-winded.
We wouldn't want to degrade you or anything.
Yeah. I'm easy to talk to when people are nice. People just want to rip you apart, and they don't understand.
American DJs. That's the problem.
Yeah, they got some. We have nothing to prove. You know why?
Yeah.
We're young, fit Canadian males.
Yeah, we
don't have an
that.
issue. Yeah. With huge wieners, by the way. We don't
massive.
But I wanted to thank you so much.
Great.
And if there's ever a chance you're going to make it up here, please remember us, little
Are
little
you
radio
guys
people.
in Toronto?
Yeah,
we're right in Toronto.
When are you coming?
Yeah, I will be coming up to Toronto within probably the next 3 months.
We got to arrange it around something.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm going to come up there for some dance thing or something that they're doing, but I know it's Toronto, so I'll keep this number and give you guys a call, and I'll come in, and we can all sit down and chill, say hi.
I'd love to.
That would be the best. I would love to sit down and chill with you.
All right.
All right, baby doll.
Bring in that fat chick while you're at it.
I will. We'll watch the movie, and I'll point out, here's what happened when. I'll give you behind-the-scene details.
See, this is when I puked.
Yeah, exactly. This is where I called cut because, I didn't know what I was looking for. Yeah, I know.
All right, adult film star Devin James, Tiger Woods, former mistress. Thanks for your time. We'll talk to you soon. Please stay in touch. Have a great day.
I will. Thanks, guys.
Bye,
See you,
dear.
baby doll.
All right, bye.
There you go. What a sweetheart.
Wow.
Oh, she seems like a nice lady.
Do you know, what we just found out?
Yeah.
Do you realize that? One of the greatest traditions in sport.
The green jacket.
Passing of the green jacket.
Oh, I tell you what, Arnold Palmer would be pissed if he heard that interview.
Or maybe just wanted...
And it was during one of the years that he won it. I know he's won it a bunch of times because here's the rule. I just found this out with the Masters jackets. Yeah. You get to keep it for a year. After 1 year, it goes into the actual old cabin. Whatever it's called.
Oh, does it? You don't get to have...
No, you get to keep it for a year.
So
they
Mike,
give you, I think, a replica or something like it. But Mike Weir, he didn't even have his jacket. It had to go back to the club.
You don't think Mike Weir ever let any prostitute wear the coat?
I'm not saying that. No. I know. That was unbelievable. That was some groundbreaking crap.
It was pretty funny. And that he gave his golf club to his son.
Yeah.
You know how much that thing's worth?
Yeah, lots. Hey, can you tell that stupid kid of yours to send it up here to me?
Yeah, just for fun.
I'll give him $100 for
it. We should have.
Yeah. Judging by your state of mind, I think $100 would have come in handy.
We should have tried to buy it.
She took $2,000 for a 500-pounder. She'll take $100 for a golf club.
Oh, it's an old one anyway. We'll get him a new one.
Yeah. A whole new set.
Oh, my God.
The Dean Blundell Show. 102.1 The Edge.